Welcome back, Newcastle Fans TV, everyone. Me and Lee, we are joined by some members from SAFC Fans TV today to discuss the massive FA Cup game this Saturday against the Mackems. I'll keep it nice. Let's go.
Yes, we're here to take up your time to talk about Sunderland and all things Sunderland. So if you're a big fan of this, hit that dislike button and let them know this is what you want more of. But yes, I'm Conrad from SAFC Fan TV. I've got Wayne with us as well as Mike from the channel. We're just going to run you through a little bit of our team because yes, we all know more about your team than you probably know of our team. So I'm going to start by coming to Wayne. So Wayne, do we have as many injury concerns as Newcastle? It's probably not the case, as we all know, but what are your thoughts on our injuries at the moment?
Well, our injury situation is a lot better than what Newcastle's is. Obviously, we have got some of our big players out. Obviously, when Roberts is now out injured, which we know about. Mike's favourite, Bradley Dack, is out, which he's devastated about, as you can see. We have got some big players coming back as a positive from us. Obviously, we've got Adi Elise here, who's been out for 8 months. He came back into the team on Saturday, did really, really well. So he's a positive. But our other injuries, we've got the likes of Huggins out, who was having a decent season, but he's not a massive blow, I would say. Corey Evans is out again, probably another one of our fringe players. Jamie Tetier is another one who's been out since pre-season, but again, not really one of our, I would call, first team regulars. So we've actually got quite a decent squad to pick from at the weekend, which is certainly a positive compared to where Newcastle injury, worries are at the moment. So all good.
I think the main thing for so a lot of those players you mentioned there. So Huggins is a right back, but we have a right back ahead of him. Elise is like a left-sided centre back or a left back for us, where Huggins had been filling in. And the Evans and Matete that you mentioned are centre mids, but they're by no means our first choice. The biggest issue for us, Mike, is probably that we have 4 strikers, and until New Year's Day, they hadn't scored for nearly 300 days. But yet we still ended up in the playoffs, having just come up from League One with our team. So do you want to let them know a bit more about how we're likely to play and set up there?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping we set up with a striker because he has actually broke the duck and he's scored. So personally, but I mean, our team's got accustomed to not having that poacher, that striker up front, which creates a lot of uncertainty for other teams because when the likes of your Jack Clark and Roberts obviously won't be on, but Pritchard, Joe, Bellingham running through, they've all got the ability. They could all easily be a striker. They've all got a shot on them. They're all very dangerous. There's a reason that most Sunderland fans at the moment are nervous, and it's not just the derby. It's because we're in the January transfer window and Premier League clubs are sniffing around a lot of our players. Yeah. So that should tell you the calibre of the players that are coming up through the squad. And we all know that we produce awesome goalkeepers. I mean, we've seen it. Going on to being England's number 1 keeper and things like that. So, and Patterson is following in them footsteps, no problems. So, although a lot of the Newcastle fans won't know our team or anything like that, well, at the moment, I guarantee in 3 or 4 years' time, there's a lot of these players that will be in Premier League clubs and you will know them.
For me, I would say our lineup, as we've already mentioned, we're probably going to have Patterson in goal, Young England under 19, under 21s international. We're going to have Hume at right back with O'Nien and Ballard at centre back, I would probably say. If you've seen anything of Luke O'Nien on Twitter or social media, he's the one who piggybacks players, kisses them to get them wound up, and generally just shithouses his way through a football match. So if anything's likely to start a fight with your players, there's your one, Luke O'Nien. Elise probably at left back. We've mentioned midfield. We've got Dan Neil, who's recently been linked with the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal for like just being how good he is on the ball with us there. Like I said, we've got Bellingham, who by no means are we comparing him to his brother already, but you can see he's a very, very good player and infinitely better than what we had in that position last season. Ekwa, our defensive sort of midfielder. He's a very good player. He's been a bit off the boil recently, and I think Mowbray, our former manager, even said sometimes a bit of a softer touch. So in the middle of your midfield with Bruno, Joe Linton, and Miley, That's an area that you'd probably exploit, I would say, so we'd need to be tight in there. Up top, Jack Clark is just class above this division. Probably shouldn't be playing for us. He's better than this, but he's dragging us kicking and screaming at the moment into our better positions. And the strikers on the right side is anybody's guess for this game, because we've got 4 strikers, 1 goal between them, and we've got a right-sided player who's now missing, and a bit of a sort of who's going to fill that role. So that's.
If Abdullah Bar's playing, don't laugh too much.
Although he has the ability to like randomly do something really good as well, so it's a surprise to us as well if it does sort of come off. The only other thing is we have a very new manager, so we haven't settled on a system yet, and we're a very young, talented footballing side. By no means am I saying we're fantastic, and should be in the Premier League. We are just, I think. Don't underestimate us in terms of how we can play football, and I'm setting myself up there to sort of get battered, but we're better than the majority think, and we play better against the better sides. So if you turn up and play well, we will be playing well as well.
If you was slightly offered, I think we might be in with a little bit of a sneaking chance.
When this draw was made, there was excitement from Sunderland fans, and the Newcastle fans that I knew, so I'm not saying all of you, there was a little bit of fear. And I think there's that little bit of doubt that is our thing that we need to play off on the weekend. So we've taken up too much of your time anyway. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, so you can come over to SAFC Fan TV and see how well we're doing this season, or even laugh at us when we're not doing so well. It'll happen. There'll be games we'll lose. It's fine. But don't forget, if you really enjoyed listening to Sunderland fans on a Newcastle fan channel, hit that dislike button. Let Liddy and Joe know that you really enjoyed this content, and we'll hand it back over to them. So take care, guys. Hopefully you don't do well on Saturday, but all the best for the rest of the season.
Thanks, lads. In Beale we trust.
Thank you very much, boys, for coming on. They have expressed their opinions, their thoughts. Some of them are optimistic. One's probably sitting on the fence there. But look, it's a big game this weekend. Me and Joe are both looking forward. We want to know how you feel about it. Now it's so close, and also what the Mackems have said. You've heard from us all week, from me, from Joe, and now you've heard from the opposition, from the enemy's mouth. We want to know what you think. Drop your comments down below, and we'll see you match day.